Hello, teachers. Today, let's discuss about rubric for STEM projects. As you better know, we are going to integrate STEM as a subject in our E-tape. So, for that purpose, we will be making assessments of the projects in order to mark them. So today we will be exploring how to consider projects for assessment and how can we provide marks to the students. First of all, we have divided these projects into different components, right? We will be marking each component according to the rubrics that have been provided here. So first we will be looking at projects and presentation. Like this means the SDG presentation and the lab work or the challenge that the students will be performing after at the end of the project. So then we will be looking at student tasks, how much the students have completed the task, that we will be discussing one by one. And then a STEM guided project, right? How the students have performed it. And then STEM challenge projects. So we have made each think very clear, and we have provided some rubrics for it. So let's discuss what do we need to look at the presentation, right? When there will be project presentation, what kind of things we will be looking at students uh, level. So first we need to focus content understanding, and in content understanding there must be like understanding of the topic. The student must give correct and relevant information, right? If any SDG is about water scarcity, then the students must provide relevant and reliable data. Secondly, we need to look at the organization and clarity. If the ideas are clear, structure, there is proper beginning, middle, and is for easy to follow. So then there will be one mark. Like you can see on the right side, we have given marks to every component, right? So then we have communication skills. We will be looking at students how they speak, like use of language, whether the students are maintaining eye contact and their voice is audible or not, and then gestures, their postures, they will matter. And we have given a slight more marks to this component because this matters a lot. So we have 2 marks for this. And we have the use of aids in creativity, how creativity the students uses picture charts models or aids creativity to make the presentation interesting. So we have 1 marks for this. Confidence and engagement, and here we are looking for the confidence and hesitation issues and other things and facing the audience. We are also looking for collaboration, actively contributes to group work, respects authors' ideas, and helps the team succeed. So, this is how we are going to assess a student in all these components when the student comes for the presentation. Right, in total, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 marks for this presentation. And then we will be looking at students task. In student task we have 3 components, right? And these are those tasks which the students have to complete in their book. You might see a real life advantage, brainstorming, and evaluation format that have been already given in the books. So what do we need to look at? The real life advantage or the real life usage area which the students has to complete regarding one SDG or one objective or the project. We need to look at the practically thinking, how practical is the student, whether the ideas are logical, have evidences, and they feasible. So if they are feasible and they have all these requirements, then we will be providing 1 mark. And secondly, if we are looking for the brainstorming, because brainstorming is something that requires more efforts, it requires more thinking, then we have 2 marks for this, right? So in brainstorming we will be focusing on creativity, problem solving, collaboration, and ideas generation. Like if your students accumulates all these things in the brainstorming area and he depicts or writes those things in that particular area, then you will be providing 2 marks. And in evaluation, you better know the student evaluates himself, right? There's self-assessment and critical feedback. So here we must be looking at how relevant the student is, how critical he is, whether he deduced good results, whether he deduced some conclusions that are solid, that are real, and that can be workable. So if the students has mentioned these kind of things, then you have to give 2 marks. So our second last area is guided project, right? STEM guided projects, which we are doing with our students in lab. So in these, guided projects, what do we need to look at? We have to look at 4 things. First, digital literacy. Second is engineering design, collaboration, and time consumption or time usage, right? So what do you need to look at? Digital literacy, right? Digital literacy itself, you know better how to use effectively and how to have understanding of devices. So we need to look whether the student, they care for laptops, do they maintain the charging system, do they complete all the requirements of safety, like keeping them safe from the wires or electrical devices. So you need to look at these things, and this gives 2 marks. Engineering design, follow the steps in sequence and maintaining the requirements effectively. Here, you have to look or assess the student in terms of the steps, whether the student is completing the steps in order or not, or is he showing some issues with the following of the steps, or is he completely for making the project ready at the end in a timely manner. So in collaboration, you need to look at, right, how the students are contributing to the pair, right? If they're in groups or if they are in pairs, how do they participate, or in what aspect they participate? They give their ideas, they respect one another, and then they help the team succeed, right? And they take interest in that very project. And secondly, time, we are looking for the time because time is very important in consideration of the projects. First, we need to look at the guided project, whether the students are capable enough to complete the guided projects in the time given. We might have around 1 hour or 40 minutes class, so that is the time we need to keep in mind. And for these guided projects, we have again 6 marks, right? So you need to keep these things in your mind. Areas of assessment for challenge project, right? So challenge project, we have 3 areas where we will be assessing student. First, we need to look at goal setting and planning. If a student is working on a challenge project, first or the foremost important the task is that he must have goal setting and planning, right? Proper brainstorming should be there, and making analysis, right, what is required and how to work on it. And the topic should be very relevant, right? And secondly, we have innovation. How innovative is the student, whether he integrates creativity and he has alternate solutions, logical and tangible, right? If these things are there, then he 3 marks must be provided to the student, right? And lastly, we have collaboration. Actively contributes to the pair work, respects other ideas, and helps the team succeed. So again, we have uh, 5 marks for the projects. So in total, if we count here, we have six. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 marks, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So you can see we have 25 marks for one project, right? So it means that we will be doing 2 projects in term 3, and the total marks will be 50. And in term 4, again, we will be doing 2 projects and the total marks will be 50 there. So in total, there will be 100 marks, and these 100 marks will compensate the previous terms, right? term 1, term 2, because we were not having projects that time. So we will adjust these projects or these marks with that of term 1 and term 2, and in total we have 100 marks for a year. So we will be adjusting term 3 and term 4 marks on EDAP, because this is going to be formally part of our EDAP assessment. So that's why we are making it more tangible and more easy to assess the students. So I hope this is a thorough explanation for understanding this project's rubric and designing. And lastly, if you could see here, there is an important document which you will be maintaining for your students, right? After, first you need to go through deeply to with the rubrics, and while making assessments for your students in projects, you need to keep those rubrics ideas with in your mind, right? And then you have to fill this document for your student. So this is project STEM project mark sheet, right? You will be maintaining your mark sheet for the students in this way. First, will there will be project name, and then we have grade, session term, subject, start date, and the project end date. So here you could see, first you have to mention the names of the students, right? And then you have to have the marking scheme, right? You have to just provide marks, right? Project presentation, student tasks, guided projects, and STEM challenge project total marks. So if you are marking these things, then you need to keep those areas in your mind, that how the student has performed in this particular area. So keeping that in your mind, you have to fill this for every students once your project completes. So this form will be submitted, or this form will be recorded for every project, right? It may be SST project, it may be science project, it may be math project, so whatever there is. And secondly, there are some instructions, very important instructions. We haven't asked the teachers to maintain lesson planning for STEM projects, but in case if your principals are asking for it, then you can make. But for from the coordinators, we haven't instructed the teachers to maintain STEM lesson plans. But one more important thing is that at the end of the project, you have to complete the project report. Like, we have already shared the format with you, but we haven't received for all the projects that have been completed yet. So I would request and I would urge you to complete those projects timely, and please do share a relevant project report with your coordinators. So if you have further questions and issues and concerns, then you can reach out to us. We will inshallah provide you help at earliest and to the best of our abilities. Thank you.